everyone, it's James from the Fit RV, and I'm coming to you today from Advanced RV's facility in Willoughby, Ohio. Now, besides being one of only a few people I'll let touch the RV, Advanced RV is one of the few places in the country where you can get VB air suspension installed. And you can see, Lance is up on the rack, and that's what we're doing here today. So what is VB air suspension? Well, basically we're taking the factory leaf springs and we're replacing them with this set of arms and these airbags here. Now there's also a compressor and a controller and some other things to go with it, but that's basically the whole system. So now, while they're getting to work on this, I'm going to show you some video we took this morning that shows you what we're hoping the VB air suspension helps us with. I often have to work while Steph is driving from this location right here.
Yep.
And when the road is bumpy, I get a lot of this kind of action.
Yeah, and I get a lot of griping kind of action.
Wow. Anyway, it's hard to read when the road gets bumpy. So what we're hoping is that after we do, what we're going to do is we're going to drive around and try to read this screen with the before suspension. Then when we get the VB, we're going to do the same thing after, and we'll see if I feel less like throwing up after trying to read this for a few minutes.
Yeah, fingers crossed this works, because I would love to have less griping.
Okay, let's roll.
Okay, here we go. Let's get a running start. Whee!
All right, so here's the GoPro. Here's the GoPro on a steady mount, trying to read the screen. So the vibration that you see is mostly coming from, at this point, the road. Holy cow!
Stop sign.
Really? Really, Steph?
Ah, we're almost here. I recognize this.
Yes. Advanced RV, right there.
We got all the buildings up. Should I just go in the back?
All right, and stop this. All right, and there you have it. So I'm going to be watching Steph to make sure she doesn't try to drive any smoother next time around, but there we go. All right.
I don't think we have to worry about that.
All right, so that's all the before. Let's get her done. Okay, so I'm here with Martine from VB Air Suspension, and we've just finished installing the VB Air Suspension system on Lance here. So, Martine, why don't you go ahead and run us through the different components of the system?
Okie doke. What we did was we completely removed the original suspension, which was a leaf spring suspension from back end to the front. So that one has been removed. We replaced it for a trailer arm.
Okay.
The airbags with the pistons.
Okay.
And because we've got no attachment point over here anymore, which would give the rear axle more sideways movement,
Right.
this is the pennant rod. This
Okay.
prevents the axle from going sideways.
Gotcha. Okay, and then there are other components that are further up front, right?
Further up front, we've got the rest of the components. The only thing on the rear left are the two height sensors. They're a bit difficult to see. They are on the outside of the chassis. You can see two height sensors.
Oh, okay, yes.
And what they do is they measure the distance between the axle and the chassis. So as you load it, they will sense it. They will send a signal to the compressor. And that will raise the suspension again.
Okay, cool. Let's go up front and see what we've got installed up there.
Yep. Halfway, we've got the air tank. The air tank is there as a boost.
Okay.
So once you lower the vehicle and you want to raise it again, you will hear the compressor running, which is over here. But also it will take air from the air tank, which has got 11 bars, to give it a boost for the lift.
So you can basically take off faster than if you just had to wait for the compressor.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And this has got a lot of little lines running to it.
Yes. This one, behind here is the compressor.
Okay.
There's a 4-corner valve block, but we only use the rear corner.
Okay.
So 2 corners, green and black, which is the left-hand side, right-hand side, red and blue, which normally in Europe would be the front axle.
Okay.
Valve block is inside, compressor is inside, and the control unit. So the control unit is also inside.
Okay, but there is a control in the cab, right?
There is a remote in the cab.
Okay. And we didn't do the front air suspension, but we did something a little different up front. I think we replaced some springs, right?
Yeah, we fitted new coil springs on the front. From here you can tell
Okay.
they are blue. The original ones are black. And what we did is
They didn't come in yellow?
we could, if you want, we could make them yellow. We measured it up front. It was 17.5 inch from wheel arch, center wheel, and now we are at 18.75.
Okay, so we got like 1.25 inches of lift in the front.
Lift. We've got 3 different versions of the coil springs, which is a light, a comfort, and a heavy. The heavy is way too harsh for this weight of vehicle. The comfort has got the same spring rate as the light version, but the comfort would raise it too much, and then the vehicle would be sort of spirit level, and we prefer to have it slightly tilted forward.
Slight nose down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why we choose for the light version.
Okay, and that should theoretically, as opposed to the heavy-duty version, should give us a little bit more comfortable of a ride.
Yeah. On a lot of motorhomes, this type of motorhomes, the original coil spring is too soft. So the front end drops down, basically decreasing the distance between the bump stop and the shock absorber itself. So
Okay.
what you want to do with the coil springs is lift the suspension up again to get suspension travel, because
So you're not hitting the bump stops off.
everything, although you're fitting a stronger spring, everything is better than driving on bump stop.
Right.
So it increases the comfort.
Okay. And that's pretty much the extent of the VB air suspension. That's all
Yep.
we've got installed, right?
Yeah.
So the only thing we have to do now is to go out and give it a test.
Yeah.
The VB air suspension is in. We've got the van, Steph's back behind the wheel. I've got the same document pulled up on the same laptop on the same table. I'm sitting in the same seat. So we're going to go for the same. You need to drive like the same maniac you were
Okay.
3 days ago.
Following the speed limit. Yes.
And we'll see how this looks. I've got the GoPro. We're going to see how this does.
All right, and this is James's first time sitting in the back. I already sat back there, so this will be your first impression.
All right. So
All right.
let's do it.
Here we go. Clear.
Go.
Clear. Big bumps.
There we go. You're gunning it.
So we're going over some pretty big bumps right now. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's still moving,
Yeah.
but it seems a bit better than it was last time.
I mean, it's a pretty severe road, too.
Turn left at the stop sign.
Well, on this less severe road, this is really quite like the high frequency vibrations seem to be less.
Yeah, so the
The jitter.
yeah.
I mean, it still moves, and I'm moving and it's moving, right? But all right, we got a bunch of expansion
1/2
joints here.
mile. Turn left on Euclid Avenue.
Yeah, even driving it feels smoother. I don't know why that would be. We didn't do anything. Well, we did do something up front.
We replaced the springs up front to give an extra inch of travel.
Arriving at 4590 Haven Industrial Parkway on the left.
Okay, so after sitting in the same seat in the same van on the same road with the new suspension,
Yeah.
my impression is it's definitely made an improvement. I realize
Oh, yeah.
it's subjective, but from sitting back here trying to look at my computer screen, a lot of the higher frequency stuff, what I would call just harshness, seemed to have been metered out. You could still feel bumps and potholes and stuff
Yeah,
if you
but they
ran over
seem
them.
to be tempered more when you sit there. You feel them, but they're gentler.
It's less bad.
Yeah.
How was it driving?
There's something different about the drive as well, and I don't know. It feels more solid, like heavier on the bottom, beefier.
I'm pretty sure gravity wasn't affected by our getting an air suspension system, so we're
It's really hard to explain the feeling, but yeah, there's something different.
more connected to the road.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay,
I like that.
we'll go with that. So those are our first impressions.
Yeah.
We'll try to put up some more video as we have more seat time with the VB air suspension, but I guess that'll do it for now.
All right.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.